Welcome back to the Prosperity with Purpose podcast. I am Jessica Heffley, and today we're talking about my wannabe Madonna arms. Don't really care for Madonna, but she's got some ripped arms and has for years. And I have said for 10 plus years, I want ripped arms. The only problem is I don't have ripped arms still. Is that a problem? We're going to explore that because I was feeling so much shame around saying I wanted something, doing it for a little while, and then stopping, restarting, doing it again, working out regularly, consistently, and then stopping. Repeat, repeat, repeat. I felt like I've made so much progress in so many other areas of my life. Are you hearing this about me? Maybe you're like, ripped arms is not your magical dream. Okay, but I want you to put this in light of your business. Almost everything that gives me breakthroughs in my business comes from a personal story that seems so unrelated. Okay, but where in your business have you stopped, stopped, and now you're just like, maybe you didn't even recognize that it was shame, but you just feel so much shame about starting again, or you're already making up the scenario that what's the point because I'm going to start it and stop it, or there's like fear around, but this is what I want. I want to try again, but I don't know how, or I don't feel like I have the time, or I don't feel like I have the capacity, or I have no idea how I'm going to get the results. The results seem so hard. Okay, all of those invitations to talk to the coach. I'm here, I'm available. Prosperity with Purpose Mentorship. That's where we have breakthroughs. But for me, that meant time for me to talk to my coach, which hadn't been that long until I had talked to my coach before, because I very regularly talk to coach. I have lots of coaches. But I was noticing, I think you just kind of get to the point. I don't know. This usually happens how it works for me. I just get to the point where I'm like, I'm fed up with it. Like I need to do something about this. I don't have the results that I want, but I'm not going to just like sit on the couch and not do nothing. So it's just like the shame cycle of what should I do, but I don't have the result I want. So I ask for help. Light bulb. I ask for help. Okay, so when we started the conversation, really what I got down to is I was feeling dumb. I was feeling dumb that I can't figure this out. I was feeling dumb that I'm a life coach. I know that I need to put it on my calendar and plan it and schedule it ahead of time and just do it. But of course, y'all know what to do. I know what to do for the most part. We know what to do. Where the invitation is uncovering the reason why we're not doing what we know we should do, right? Which often almost always involves some sort of shame story you have on yourself, some sort of condemnation, some sort of like against yourself. So I was feeling dumb that I couldn't figure it out, which I know is an invitation then to unhook some areas of judgment I have towards myself, some areas of condemnation I have towards myself. And the beauty of it is that will also unhook areas that I have judgment and condemnation against others, which will also be helpful for you in your business to have some empathy and be able to understand what other people are going through in their own businesses, maybe why they're not going as fast as you wish they would, or doing the things that you know that they are capable of doing and they're not doing them. It has to go down a little bit deeper than that. I also was feeling there also was some fear around what this would entail. Like, I want ripped arms. I want muscular arms. I'm very tall and been thin most of my life, but really it's been like skinny fat. Like I don't really have much muscle. There's been seasons where I have, and then I fall back. You know what I mean? And so I want, but like solid ripped arms. Anyways, that's just something I've always wanted. So I was having some fear around, oh my gosh, if that's really what I want, and it is what I want, it's what I've been saying I've been wanting for 10 years, then what is that going to entail? That seems hard. My time already feels so at capacity. I already have so many other things going on. Like, what does that entail? But okay, baby steps. Let me step back just a minute. First of all, when I was in the Dominican Republic in February, in a swimsuit, all those things, I was like, oh, summer's coming. I'm not happy with these results. And so a lot of things felt overwhelming in this particular area, which I'll explain all the breakthroughs that I had. But in February, it felt overwhelming. So I was like, my husband was like, why don't you hire a trainer? And I just was like, I'm just not in that season yet. Why don't I, for 1 month, make a commitment to walk 6 days a week? And then after 1 month, I'll reevaluate and I'll be ready to do some more intense training, right? And so I did that. I committed to the walk. It's amazing what happens when you commit to something ahead of time, commit to the process. I wasn't committing to like a result of like losing weight, or I wasn't counting my steps. I was just like, I will go on a walk every day, 6 days a week for 1 month. And that felt really good and really right for me. And it was just fascinating how, where I'd notice I was scrolling my phone before I pick up the kids from school, and I'd be like, oh, I've got 45 minutes. Put on the tennis shoes. Let's get a walk in before the kids get home. Like, because I had committed to do it. It had made it so much easier. I'd committed to the process, right? Okay. So it had been a month, was coming up, and I was like, oh, I don't know. I want arms, but that feels, I- the beautiful thing is why it was feeling so hard, something so simple, why it was feeling so hard. Apply this to yourself. That thing that you know that you need to do, why it now feels so hard is because of the shame story you're telling yourself about it. Because of the condemning voice of, why should you even try? You're just going to quit. You've tried this before. You're going to quit again. What is wrong with you? Like, that is what we're going to uncover today. And that is where I had a huge breakthrough, because it all is about just beginning again. It's about starting. All you need to do is start again, one day at a time. But so many people, because of the shame condemning story, they're just like, what's the point? I'm not even going to try. Start again. Okay. Shame says that there's something wrong with you. When you are feeling the feelings of shame, or not even feeling the feelings of shame, but they're there and you're not even aware of it, and you think it's something else and you're just avoiding it. Okay. The shame story is that it keeps telling you that something is wrong with you. How can we neutralize this situation? Okay. For me, it was like, how can I neutralize this like shame and condemnation, like this scenario, like, okay, I've started and stopped. I've started and stopped. I don't want to do that anymore. Oh, I'm so horrible. How could I neutralize it? How, if I was somebody that was trying to help me from an outside perspective that didn't have all the emotion and shame that I was feeling, how could someone like me, or, well, let me say this. Okay, so a way that I could neutralize it is sometimes people like me struggle with this. Sometimes humans struggle. Sometimes highly successful people struggle with follow through. Let me let me, what's the word I'm looking for? Let me normalize this. Highly successful people also struggle in certain areas. You're still seeing their highlight reel. Okay. Just because someone's a life coach, or just because someone's a CEO, or just because someone's your mentor, or just because someone, whatever you're thinking, or just because someone's a certain rank or a certain income, they're like, I bet they never struggle with that. Sometimes people like you struggle with what you're going through. Actually, more people struggle than not. So let's change those ratios here. But I want you to neutralize it. Sometimes I have bad days. Sometimes highly successful people like me can't figure out how to go just lift weights again. They know and again, it's not the excuse of I don't know what to do. I have a tonal machine. The tonal machine does everything for you. It puts the weight on, it counts your reps, it counts your score, it programs the workouts for you. Like I don't even have to think. It's not like, oh, well, I don't know what to do, or I don't know how long to do this. No, it literally is plug and play. So again, this is a reminder for you. You know what you need to do. The reason you're not doing it is some shame story that you're telling yourself that you should be further along, or you shouldn't be struggling with this, or people like you don't have to deal with this. That's a lie from the enemy. And so when I was talking to my coach, she helped me realize what was kind of the theme. What did my condemning voice sound like? Okay, and I noticed that again was a voice I kept hearing in that condemning voice. Okay, if you're unfamiliar in the spiritual realm, I love to look at it this way: is Satan speaks to you in the condemning voice. It's like makes you shrink back, makes you get smaller. Is fear, is intimidating, is shame. It just makes you feel less than. God's voice, even in correction, is his loving kindness leads you to repentance. So even his correction is rising you up, speaking to your true. If you're watching me on YouTube, you can literally see my hands, the difference. It rises you up to your true identity and purpose. Okay, so this is a very powerful thing you can do is just start to notice the voice that you're hearing. Start to notice how you're speaking to yourself. Start to notice thoughts your mind is offering to you, because you get to choose. Okay, it's on autopilot, and the autopilot story is probably shameful and condemning and making you feel smaller, and definitely not making you start again, because that's what Satan, the enemy, does not want you to do. He does not want you to start again. He wants you to go sit on the couch, go eat some chips, make a sandwich, and just sit there and binge. He doesn't want you to make a difference in the world. He doesn't want you to be healthy. He doesn't want you to accomplish your goals. Okay, but God says, I am doing a new thing. Your future is going to look completely different from your past. And apart from me, you can do nothing. Like, let's do this together. Okay, so it's really important for me to notice that my condemning voice was like, again, like, oh, you started and stopped again. You set out a goal in this area and didn't accomplish it again. So I was noticing just like this like word of again was where my condemning voice was. And so then we got to notice, what would my empathetic voice sound like towards this? Like, what would a neutral voice that wasn't heaping shame on you, that was just like curious, like, huh, high achieving people sometimes struggle with this. Like, what would that empathetic voice sound like for you in your situation? For me, my first thought was, well, that empathetic voice towards me in this specific arm exercise scenario, it felt unfamiliar, yet really nice. Like, really delightful. Unfamiliar because that's not usually the voice that I listen to, or I hear, or I seek out, or I create on purpose. But it was really, really nice. And so if I was a person trying to help myself, what would I say? How would I address the scenario? If you were trying to help somebody else in that situation, what would you do? How would you make it neutral? And all of this, always, right? This was my beautiful invitation to unhook from shame. Okay? Because here you go. Here's the question that I dealt with. Where is punishing myself with shame going to get me? Where is punishing myself again about that I haven't figured out this arm workout? I'll start. Where is that getting me? It's getting me nowhere. And I'll still be there in a year. Okay? So do I want to continue punishing myself with shame, or do I want strong arms? Like, I get to decide, but I couldn't even decide. It was like I was frozen, like, there's no possibilities. I don't know how this is going to work, until I was able to find some freedom, shed some light on, tell the truth about my shame. The truth is what will set you free. Okay. If you keep ignoring it or not being honest with yourself, you're going to still stay in your shame cycle. But the truth of, like, I feel shame about this. I feel some fear about what all this is going to entail. When I was honest with that, I now get to decide. Do I want to continue punishing myself with shame? Do I want to continue to tell myself that story? Do I want you live into the story you tell yourself? Do I want to continue with that? Or do I want strong arms? I want strong arms. So I get to restart. I get to try again. I get to start. I get to be an overcomer. I don't want to be in the same place I am now a year from now. So I get to decide. Just decide. Just decide whatever it is that you've been stopping. Just decide you're done with punishing yourself. You're done with the shame cycle around this. In 3 months from now, and when you choose to be done with it, 3 months from now, there'll be a difference. 6 months from now, you'll be a completely different. You'll be a completely different person. 3 months from now, I'm going to notice a difference in my arms. 6 months from now, I'm going to have completely different arms. And I've stopped obsessing with the end result and started committing to the process, committing to restarting, committing to starting and restarting, and committing to the process, enjoying the process, celebrating the process. If you follow me on Instagram, every day after I do my tonal exercise, I post on Instagram. I am celebrating myself. I am proud of myself. The Gap and the Gain is a really great book for you on this concept of, like, we're always judging ourselves against what we haven't accomplished instead of celebrating the gain. Stop focusing on the gap, but celebrate your gains. And so that's what I have decided to do. That's what my coach helped me uncover. There's a couple other things that got me to the end result, but I just decided. I'm done punishing myself because I want different results. Okay, we've got to lessen our focus on the outcome. So many of you guys get so obsessed, like, oh, I want this amount of money. I want this rank. And you're like, your eyes are only on that, only on that. And then you just keep comparing yourself to this gap of how you haven't reached that elusive ideal. Okay. Instead of committing and celebrating the process, lessen the focus on the outcome and commit to the process, not the results. Commit to who you become in the process. Commit to the journey. Commit to all of life's gifts, hard and easy, that will all come your way as you commit to your transformation. The results are going to be inevitable if you commit to the process. It's committing to the process, it's the restarting. That's what the majority of the people will not do because they're in that shame cycle. But you are not most people. You are an overcomer. You are choosing to restart. You are choosing to commit to the process. You are choosing to remember God's voice that is calling you higher, not choosing to come in agreement with the voice of condemnation that is calling you to shame and sin and and just stopping, just sitting on the couch, just giving up. Yeah, it's easier not to do it. It's easier not to do it. But you were called higher, and your transformation, the way that you break through in this, the way that you become healthier in this, the way that you overcome in this, is going to do wonders for everybody else you have influence over. So, going back to what would it look like to meet myself right where I am without judgment? This is what she helped me uncover. And this is what I love, helping other people. I do this all the time, but it was just like I couldn't go and do it on myself. So I'm so grateful for coaches because that's where people want to be met where they are. You want to be met where you are. You don't want somebody saying, you should have done this. You should be farther along than you already are. What's wrong with you? You're gonna start. So if you start this, you're just gonna stop again. Okay. What would it look like to meet yourself right where you are in that goal for yourself? Like I was, where I was like, here's where I am. I have this goal that I want. I don't know how to get there, or I feel scared to get there, or I feel so much shame about how I've tried to get there before in the past. What would it look like to meet you right where you are without the judgment? Just the truth. This is where I am. I don't like it. I don't feel like this is how I have to be forever, but this is where I am today. How can you see, feel, and understand her? How can you see, feel, and understand yourself? Like, yeah, I kind of make perfect sense. High achieving people like me sometimes get really focused on something and it falls away for a while. I'm human. Welcome to the human experience. Like, what makes me so special that I will never experience shame or anything like this again? Sometimes people like me, sometimes people like you don't hit their goals. Sometimes people like you have started and stopped and started and stopped, and they're ready to stop stopping. And you're ready to recommit to the process. So I'm committed to the process. And my coach helped me figure out, like, what is my actual steps? How am I going to start? I didn't have to figure out everything. I just had to commit. So we came up with a plan where I was going to, for 1 month again, commit to this, commit to weight training my arms 4 days a week. So that's what we decided. It's so fascinating how many things open up for you after you decide, after you commit. It's like the whole world of possibilities come. Like, it's when you commit to your business or you commit to your marketing, it's like, oh, then all the people come. If you build it, they will come. So we committed over the phone. And then for the first week, I was like, she was like, what do you want me to do? Do you want to check in? So each day I worked out, I checked in with her the first week and to help me establish the habit. And then honestly, after day one, the starting, it didn't even take me a whole week. I was in it. So when I committed, I got off my call with her. And then I was opening up my tonal program, the app. It's got like different programs for arms, legs, full body, different levels. And the very first one that popped up was like this ultimate arms program. And it was 4 days a week for 4 weeks. And I was like, oh, look what happens when you commit to the process. Look what happens when you make powerful decisions and you decide. You are capable of making decisions so your life can move forward. And I did. And I went and did it. And it was like all these lies that I had in my brain of like, oh, I just don't have the time. I'm already so maxed out. All of those are so gone. Like that is not even an issue at all. I am motivated. I am celebrating my progress. I am kind to myself about this. Actually, we got to a root because we also talked about some other like hard interactions I've had with some people lately. And honestly, shame or uncomfortable feelings are negative emotions are just pointing us to an unmet need we have in ourselves often. And so we did some explorating of like, I just didn't feel cared for. And so I got to equate this like lifting weights for me right now, whatever it is for you. I now am equating that to this is how I care for me. If other people or other relationships or I'm not feeling cared for by them, this is a way that I can create care for myself. I show up for myself in this way and it feels like this need that I have to be cared for because I know if I commit to the process, I will get results. And I know how much I'll love those results. I've had toned arms in the past and I love them and I'm proud of them and I just feel more confident. It's just something, that's just me. And I like to wear tank tops when my arms look good. And so I know it's going to feel so good, but I'm not obsessed with that end result. I have committed to caring for myself by committing to this process. When I lift weights, I am caring for myself. So I decided I committed to the process. I honor myself and my calendar, honoring my time, honoring myself. Honor is one of the core values within our Prosperity with Purpose mentorship. And I decided to restart. James Clear from the book Automatic Habits is it's a really great book. Every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. And I wish to be someone who cares for me, who cares for others. I wish to be someone who's willing to risk. Maybe down the road, I'll stop. Maybe down the road, I might experience some shame around this again. But I'm willing right now to restart. I'm not worried about all that right now. Right now, I am focused on what is right in front of me. I am focused on committing to the process, and I restarted. And so since I've recorded this podcast, it has now been 3 weeks of solid 4 days a week arm workouts. You know, they say like you can see progress in 3 months and you'll have a totally different outcome in 6 months. I can see results in 3 weeks, y'all. You may not, but I look at my arms every day and I am so proud of myself. And even if I didn't see results within 3 weeks, I would keep going because this is a long-term vision. I have a vision of myself as a person who is healthy, who is strong and fit and ripped. Okay. And so that's something I write in my Start Today journal every day as if it's already happened. It's a vision that I have for myself, I have for my future. I've gotten derailed a couple of times. I'm not looking to the past anymore of evidence of what is possible for my future. So begin again, friends. Begin again, business owners. That area of your business, or maybe you've put it aside or haven't been as committed to it as you have before, restart. Leaders restart. Leaders become aware of those uncomfortable emotions. Go back to episode number 91. That feelings wheel, literally, I use daily. Literally, I am aware of what is happening inside of my body, my feelings, emotions daily. Those help my business. For you guys that are over there like, yeah, that feelings wheel is too fluffy for me. No, I am a successful entrepreneur, the number 2 in leadership development in an entire network marketing company. I have a 7-figure network marketing company, a 6-figure coaching business that will become 7 figures because I am aware of what's my thoughts are, what my feelings are, what they're creating for me. Because I am aware of whenever I'm feeling shame, I don't just ignore it. I view it as an invitation to find healing, an invitation to find freedom. And the same is for you. Restart. The world needs what you have to offer. The world needs the highest version of you. Restart. I am cheering you on. Let me know this week on social media where you have restarted, what ahas that you had. We want to cheer you on. I am so proud of you. Thanks for having a little insight into what's been going on with me the past couple weeks. I love sharing my breakthroughs because I know that every time I break through, every time I gain more agency, every time I peel back another layer of something that was hindering me, I'm running freer. And because I'm running freer, it inspires you to be able to walk and run in your own freedom. So God bless you. Go re.